property, and then a lot of these mopeds are being used in robberies and grand larceny. So the robberies is when these moped drivers come up to our victims and display knife, firearm, and demand property. And the grand larceny is they're approaching our victims and ripping property off them. And what we're seeing, a lot of the property that's being removed is electronics such as AirPods, cell phones, headphones, and jewelry. Now, in regards to that too, this is happening borough-wide and city-wide. So it's pretty much, please be on the lookout when you're walking around out there. You really have to be cautious of the moped riders that are riding on groups of two. They're in hoodies and masks, and they're driving up on sidewalks. When we watch these videos, they're really finding victims out there that are pretty much walking, like they should be, not worried about being a victim of a crime, and then they just come in snatching just like that, snatching property and jewelry, and then also they're doing robberies, they're coming up, displaying firearms and knives and demanding money. Now, in regards to this,
Sorry.
we have been engaged in a lot of moped stops.
So I could see
We have been
better.
with a lot of moped seizures, so any mopeds that are being unlawfully used are being stopped and engaged. A lot of times, a lot of these mopeds they're taking right off on us, and we just keep eyes on them, and hopefully, the unit picks them up, so we have that success. And then in regards, also Sergeant Novak's team has been also seizing a lot of mopeds, so we've been really on top of the moped. The second thing is a lot of overnight issues in regards to a lot of stolen vehicles. We're still seeing a lot of Hondas, ERVs, and Honda Pilots being stolen overnight. It's in Highlanders, in Toyota Highlanders. So basically, when we're reviewing this video, these thefts are happening in these residential areas, and these thefts are happening in under a minute. It's all overnight where people park their vehicles in either the driveways too, and out in the streets. And these cars are being stolen under a minute. Some of the good video that we do get, we're seeing vehicles in a group of two pull up. One vehicle is a dump car, and one vehicle to make a theft for the vehicle. And then also in regards, a lot of accessories are being removed. We're seeing a lot of rims and tires, lots of airbags being removed from the vehicle. So that's our highest driver in crime right now, these grand larcenies. Last month we reported that we had a lot of shootings at the Eastchester Gardens. Since we're able to make face-to-face relief had to be covered pretty much during the critical hours. We had not taken a shooting at Eastchester Gardens. And it's thankful to the work to our field training officers and patrol officers, and even administrative officers that are pitching in. These are administrative officers to take them out of the office a couple hours and use them during those critical times. And we're seeing a lot of success, but I just want to make sure that, each one of these Chester Gardens is an area where we take a lot of acts of violence, and we're always going to make sure it's covered. Yeah, it was very helpful. We just got 9 field training officers from the last class, so they're a big supplement to assist there. We have folks in these Chester Gardens that we've been using our new field training officers for, and they're also covering White Plains Road from Arnott to Addie Avenue, because Eastchester Gardens and White Plains Road are now to Addie is our summer violence reduction zone. So any crime that we take has to be reported, and any shooting that happens in that area documents the reason why we're up there for our post away. So thankfully, since it was made a summer violence zone and we've been able to deploy, we have not taken one crime. So that's awesome, positive, but we're still continuing to make drives. I also want to take this time, we also have one of our field training officers in the back. She just recently graduated. She's one of the 9. Her officer, the name is Officer Chelsea Dale. Been out there for 2 weeks with your team. She's been out there for 2 weeks with your team, and it's an ambitious group, and they've already started to affect their arrest initiative, some of this with quality of life issues. And I would also like to take this time to introduce our cop of the month. In the rear, we have Officer Reginald. Why he was nominated the Cop of the Month for the month of April. April 18th, he responded to a sexual assault in progress. Once he arrived, it was a sexual assault with 4 perpetrators for a sexual assault. His immediate quick thinking, his immediate investigation was able to lead to the apprehension of all 4 perpetrators. There's no perpetrators outstanding. In addition, he was able to help with getting assistance for this victim that was, unfortunately, was part of a very, very horrific crime that, that could really affect people for a long time, and he helped provide the services. For his hard work, dedication, Officer Adamji is Cop of the Month for the month of April.
Good luck, you made it,
Hold on a second there. Really? Virginia. Jeez.
And also at this time, my youth coordination officers, Officer Torteron, Officer Pena. At this time, they're going to be introducing the 5 young men and women in the rear with their awards.
So we just wanted to take this moment to recognize the incredible hard work and dedication that each of the explorers have shown throughout their time in the NYPD Explorer program. This program isn't easy. It challenges you, pushes your limits, and asks more from you than most people your age are ever expected to give. But you showed up, you committed, you led with discipline, integrity, and heart. That says everything about your character and your future. Whether you go into law enforcement or choose another path, the skills you learn here, which are leadership, accountability, and respect, will carry you forward for life. So we just wanted to give you guys
the show service award presented to Aaron Lushman.
Hazel. You want to go right?
Come over. Yeah, come.
David Angeles.
award is presented to Hector Beroa. Next award is Anissa. Next award is presented to Jane Chin. Next awardee is Valina Morales. Next awardee, William Jimenez Arena. Next awardee, Ana Valdez. Next awardee, Emily Ventura.
Say your insurance close, right?
Next awardee, Axel Beroa. And the last awardee, William Ventura. Thank you, everyone.
How are you?
Hi, how are you? Long time no see.
That's me. Okay, guys, last month I wasn't prepared because I was new, but I came prepared. All right. So just in regards to the moped session that the XO was talking about, we recommend keeping like your electronics in your pockets, walking in groups, walking where it's where there's light. Walking like
Sorry,
where
go
there's no light. And then just in regards to burglaries in the area, I don't know if any of you own a business, but there's been a lot of break-ins, local stores, shops. So I would suggest, making sure you guys get alarms and that you're arming them, making sure that the doors are locked, and just making sure that if you have the roll-down gates, you're actually using them. That's all I got.
Making the reports, we're going to start with Grace and Ava.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Grace Marrero here. Not much to report other than scooters are being littered all over the place in the neighborhood. That's about it. But also, an FYI, I'm also the district leader for the Conservative Party for the 80th Assembly District, just in case y'all wanted to know. That's it. 30 seconds. How about that?
That's good.
Diana, debacle.
Hello everyone, we had a good Memorial Day weekend, highlighted which was a basketball game at Waring Court for two teams of high school kids from the neighborhood, arranged by our basketball guy named Dago with refs, uniforms, and an electronic scoreboard. A game that went into the group goal overtime, and we're looking forward to our August tournament. We've noticed that the area of Bronx Park right inside the area entrance blocked off for the construction of the accessible path to the Botanical Garden entrance. There's not as much music from cars, so there's still a little bit. So we're thinking of working with parks and the Botanical Garden to have more plantings right at the entrance, so that when the path construction is finished, there isn't as much space right there for people to have parties and congregate right at the entrance of their cars. And of course, as we're told, there were areas still plagued by thefts of car parts. And it's frustrating to
that 2 minutes or more?
We actually, last week, the week before, we did an operation and we confiscated and made 2 arrests on the lead trucks. One on Sexton and one the other in Union Court with. It's a temporary fix, but I already know there's more out there, but we'll continue to take them and hopefully.
And anything about recording the park, that people still just have to call and wait for the officer to show up?
Yes, unfortunately, yes, because it's a Vietnam investigation. We need to respond. We need to gather video. We need to, and if we get that video, we actually put that over there with radio because we don't. It doesn't end there. Because we want to get that information out citywide. Because a lot of times when we do have success, we put it on the radio, and the unit is able to intercept the next command over within the command, and even citywide. Because once we do report that, that information gets broadcasted citywide, and we have to pass along information to detective squad. So it's not one of those crimes that we could put on the internet to report. So it's important.
I know that the Jaros had created a flyer. I think I got a copy of it. Might be in the computer.
Yeah, I left some flyers here.
No, about car tips, how to,
Yeah,
park your car.
I left some
Maybe
here.
we can get that translated into Spanish and Albanian, and I can help you with it.
Oh, boy.
So maybe we can just, one day you and I can just go and
So, Lance, we'll have to step out, it's a school night tomorrow. But thank you, guys, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Okay, Steve with UACC and PCMA.
Precinct Community Council, we have 2 offices, 2157 Holland Avenue, 2930 Wallace on the north side. Every Thursday morning, there's a food pantry, anyone interested, right on the block, 2157 Holland, every Thursday morning. 2930 Wallace food pantry also, and we provide social services at both locations. We are from Coffee Neighborhood Association now also. First of all, congratulations to Detective Hall, top of the year. I need an update on the Shaking Crab. There was a shooting a couple months ago, 2179 White Plains Road, outside of Shaking Crab. Do you have an update on that?
It's still underneath the investigation, still looking into it.
Can you look into it a little more? Okay, 2179 White Plains Road. I've been getting a lot of calls
But you're good,
and
you're
emails.
good.
750 Light, corner of Holland. Multiple drug sales, and it's been observed by many people. 750 Light, corner of Holland. I also got a call by the sheriff's department. They did a large drug bust at the schools, and we appreciate that. They went in the evening, they did drug by suicide, material, and we also people on the outside also. We padlocked it, we chilled it. Let's hope it stays out there. And the next Parkway Neighborhood Association meeting is Tuesday, June 10th at Bronx House. Guest speaker will be Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson. The community is welcome.
Oh, wow.
Roxanne, Friends of Pelham Parkway?
Yes, evening. So, NBC did come to interview me about all the park thefts that's happening in Pelham Parkway and Bronx Park East. Because I do have a large network of people who send me a lot of information. Sometimes I forward to Detective Hall and other officers. We do have a huge network, Friends of Pelham Parkway people, in Bronx Park East and both sides of Bronx Park East and Pelham Parkway. People who send me video of man stealing mail or all that. So they send me all that information with park. We want to create a pattern, but basically the pattern is very hard to gauge when there's such a short window. But I did tell at the NBC report with this aid to notify people to please file a police report so we can see how this is in dire need of more resources. And some people have told me that they have gone to the police for an activity report and they were told that, oh, we can't do anything anyhow, so don't waste your time. Or they wait 2 hours in the rain, and I had the DM to show you, and no officer responded, so they basically gave up. And I gave them to get the Hall's number, and I should just follow up with them. But there has been cases where you, when I think discourage people from doing reports to why I emphasize the reporter that must do reports. That's to show the part that be up there, that's where the increase is in need of more officers, because car theft, I don't own a car, nor do I want a car, but for some people, they use it to take their sick parents or their kids to school or to doctors. So what may seem like it's just property impact their lives, but it's actually just a financial marginalized community. Secondly, about the smoke shops. Honestly, I'm very disappointed that that's being done, and I sent so much information that I received people, and not to mention that I have to engage my own state being there, and that they actually know who I am now. So I can follow up hopefully after this meeting on this, because this is a valid issue, because we have smoke shops everywhere now. It's too much now. Now, have a good night.
Thank you. Lefty, Morris Park Community Association.
Well, I represent the Morris Park Community of Patrol on the corner. And what happens in our sector, Adam, there's a lot of sometimes heavy duty stuff that happens, and I have the right people that I contact, like detectives, also bonus, and also our beat officers, so I don't go around saying it in here because I never know who's here that could be hearing it. Well, so far, everything is going well. The only problem that I could say is that we have a problem in Loretto Park. We have these mopeds that's going in there where the kids are playing and all that, and that's going to be causing a problem. A kid did got hit one time, and they had to even call an ambulance for that. So if they could have the officers once in a while go inside Loretto Park and just, check these mopeds and motorcycles that are going inside and get them out of there, I'd really appreciate that. But otherwise, everything is going well. So I want to thank you all for it.
Bernadette, Van Ness Neighborhood Association. Alliance.
Good evening, everybody. Bernadette Flora here, President of the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance. First of all, I want to thank everybody and every officers that did come to the Van Ness War Memorial Day celebration. Remembrance, not celebration. Yes, corrected myself. So I want to thank you and everybody else who came. I guess wonderful remembrance, wonderful stories. One of the major issues, number one, is that it was just reported to me before I walked in the doors over here at 1641 Garfield Street. It's an abandoned building. It is boarded up, but it has been abandoned since 2006, 2007, and it really needs to be taken down. There was a herd of rats that came from there into the street and across the street, literally. And the people that went to the right and left, they deal with the rats. So I'm bringing it up here because that place has been on the radar since 2007, 2008. 1583 Lonsdale Avenue is basically an abandoned building, and it is not boarded up, and the children from the school, the charter school, the Van Ness Academy, have been going there. It's dangerous, it's public safety. There needs to be an immediate situation. 30 seconds. What? 30 seconds. Okay. Fireworks. We already have fireworks happening. Do we just call 911? I just want to know about that. And we have had barbecues already on the sidewalk, and the officers need to know there is no barbecuing on any city street, no matter what story they give you, and I've heard it all. Double parking on Morris Park Avenue, between Fillmore and Hunt Avenue, and also the dead end streets. Please be aware there's a lot of activity on the dead end streets. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bernadette, in regards to the 1583 process, so we actually, that was brought to our attention last week, we visited there, I was there myself. It's actually currently in the process of being, so that was already.
Yes, I got a call from the principal.
Yep, I spoke to her.
And 1641, we think we have squatters in there.
Oh, we do have squatters in there.
1641.
Garfield Street.
So that's an issue also.
It's they get into the back is not boarded up. Their windows are already
So we're gonna go into, gallery session.
Yeah, Gary.
Roxanne?
Quickly,
they really want us to focus after this meeting on those smoke shops, because I'm very upset that for some reason in Upper West Side where I live, where I work nearby, they're closing those smoke shops. Over here, our kids have to get high before they go to school. I'm not sure it's being done intentionally, someone's taking money under the behind back doors, but there's too many happening. It's ridiculous. So please, after this meeting, can I provide you with more information or follow up with something, because I know you're limited time. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Diana?
It's too many. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we actually are investigating those. We're actually we've been investigating those. We actually have been talking to the sheriffs and trying to close them down.
And the Office of Cannabis
Yeah.
Management.
So we actually are investigating them. We do see need. We try to relay the message, but it's more for the sheriffs to try to at the aid. We can just keep showing presence, but unfortunately, it's just going to be a constant thing. Just like the trucks, they're just going to keep appearing, keep going and going as much as we can.
But if I go to someone's private premise, I mean trespass, why can't, are they allowed to go?
Just let us handle it. You keep doing what you got to do, relay the message, take care of it. But we also got to work side by side with sheriffs, and sheriffs is going to address it as well.
County sheriffs,
All
yeah.
right, thank you. But I do have some information, but I know I won't be allowed to speak after the meeting before you over now. Can I just speak to you briefly?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Question to that point. For Roxanne, so what if people are operating out of cars? Who handles that? Is it the
Say that again?
police? Is it the police or the sheriff who would handle the
Operating what?
situation if they're operating out of a car?
Just selling out of a car?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, Marcy, are you talking about Lighting Avenue? Carmen Lighting Avenue? Either one of you, I don't care. who
Yes.
it is.
Well, I'm not sure, I thought we
Yeah,
had.
same thing.
Hold on.
No, we
Yeah.
don't have a 2-minute cutoff for the gallery.
Okay.
To set community reports. Are you talking about the one on
There's
Lighting
three
Avenue?
locations.
Okay. Can you talk to them? Is that
Yes.
what you said?
That's what I said after the
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the one on the we actually, it was actually cool. That truck is not there.
Yeah, for them.
The car is there.
It's not there. no.
Not a
We
truck.
actually,
They have different cars.
okay, so then.
Well, it's not
We'll address it.
It's also not, it's not as clean cut as it may sound like. If you know, or we may know that someone's selling out of a car, it's not like we can just go up to them and arrest them. We don't have that. It's not a probable cause situation. It requires a buy, money exchange, you know, so there's more to it. You know, sometimes situations may seem like very simple, but we have to act within the law. So there's more to situations.
I have a question. If somebody's selling out of their car, is that considered their their domain, sovereign domain?
No.
Like a country? No? Just checking.
Take as much information as you're able to obtain, you pass it along, and then there's there's an operation investigation that can be done. As long as it's reported, we'll take as much information, and then we'll take it from there.
Similar to what we did with the weed trucks.
So I wanted to ask about the Facebook group, 49 Precinct Community Council Forum. I understand that it's no longer an official 49 Precinct group, but I think the distinction really should be clearer. And for example, the About section says, this group is for the community within the confines of the 49 Precinct. If you have any sensitive issues, you can address them by submitting a private message to us, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask by texting our recording secretary, Grace, and then get the phone number.
There's a disclaimer, you're coming for now.
Yes, there is a disclaimer.
Why does it say
And-
that she's the recording secretary? Report sensitive issues to her.
We don't have any control. That's a private case.
To her, is
No, you can speak to me. I'm right here, Diane. I don't need somebody to speak to me. I'm here, okay?
Would you consider changing the about description to make it clearer that it's
I mean,
not-
you're the only one that has a problem. Yes. All right, whatever. That's right. You're the only one that has a problem.
You can talk
Exactly.
Debbie?
Yeah. I had brought it up with DOT, and DOT said it's an NYPD issue. On Wilson and Waring, DEP had put a bioswale, a bulb out in the street. It's now making the roadway 3-car lengths, much more narrow. When I go through school bus, it's nearly impossible to get through when the opposing traffic. DOT refuses to put signs that they're saying no standing, no parking or anything. They said by default, we're not supposed to park next to it. It's an enforcement issue. Can you please start ticketing those vehicles by the bioswale on Wilson and Waring? Because it's a major hazard issue. I will show you a picture after, if you're not sure what I'm referring to. I'll show you a picture after.
If you wanted to speak, you have to fill in the thing. Sorry.
All right.
Malcolm?
Well, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Malcolm Gray. I'm actually the new director for the White Baseball Business Improvement District. I wasn't able to attend the breakfast last week, but I definitely want to say thank you for all the work that you do. It's acknowledged and very appreciated. When I first started, I had a meeting with Technical Paul and Leo Gomez. It provided a lot of insight on a lot of things happening in the community, but also getting things done. For example, the U-Haul truck, which was parked immediately for the 7-Eleven lighting, is no longer there. I am aware of the car that sits there. I watch it all the time. I actually went into the storefront that's open, the vape shop rental store, and I had a conversation with the property owner, but not the property owner myself, but the merchant opening, and he has promised me that those cars will not be there once they open. I've also reached out to the property owners, both with Eagle Ghost and for Cloudy Cloud, Cloudy Cloud, the property owner that promised to begin the eviction process. Eagle Ghost actually has pushback there, but I'm still trying to figure out different avenues to deal with that issue. As my biggest tool would be to go to the district attorney and to use the real property law, which would ensure that the district attorney sends a letter to the property owner asking them, demanding them to evict the tenant within 5 days, and if not, then the state would do it, but that comes to the cost of the property owner. That's an ultimate tool, and I don't want to use it, so I'm trying to figure out other ways to rectify that issue. You guys have been tremendous help, especially when it comes to the vendor enforcement with sanitation that occurred last month, which freed up a lot of space. A lot of the vendors they're repeatedly and no longer there, but there are repeat vendors. We're trying to figure out ways to rectify that issue. Also, we also did a partnership with sanitation, graffiti cleanup along across the corridor, and I do want to thank Park Neighborhood Association for assisting me on that. Gathering the addresses to target. The district corridors lighting out our police a lot better than what it used to, and we're making those little pushes. I also, just want to thank you all for this new house that came out. I know that there is a lot on your plate within our district, but any way that we can help and to assist, we're there. I do want to thank you guys for coming out to the Bid Appreciation Day event where we gave out 50 lemonades, and also we did free run watching for the businesses in the district. But you being there definitely gave us a lot of focus, so I appreciate that. But when it comes to the smoke shops, I will let you guys know anything else that pops up on our radar. I think the biggest issues that I'm really seeing, honestly, is the sidewalk sales for the marijuana. At this point, it has gone from waiting just the packets and now just the full thing out on the sidewalk. It's disgusting. The kids, they come out around 1 p.m. They're in that area, they're going to local McDonald's, they're going to Chipotle, and they're being solicited for marijuana. I'm not too sure what tools or resources we have to get those vendors off the street, especially when they're openly selling marijuana to the community. But if there's any way to assist in that, we'd really be happy to get rid of it.
Another thing, the traffic enforcement. I've spoken to a few community members, they told me
And that more than 2 minutes.
Unlicensed taxis sitting around, in the White Metro corridor. I did a walkthrough with DOT and they informed me that, that the traffic sign does says 2-hour limit. So I'm not seeing much enforcement on moving overparked cars and overstaying their time in that area. I don't know if possible we can send out more traffic police to actually keep on ticketing them, discourage the activity, which I also believe will help deter a lot of the car marijuana sales that are happening there, because we are literally just sitting there hours on end. They're probably, I took the day to just notice them to the study room. They're usually at 9 a.m. They leave around 7, not even, around 12 a.m. in the morning. Right? So I don't know if we can utilize some traffic signs, laws as a way to keep people moving around.
White Plains Road to where?
White Plains Road and Light Avenue, and also for White Plains Road to Light or White Plains Road.
That's more than 2 minutes.
From the cloud, yes, right across from Jason Cloud, and also the traffic, the taxis.
Roxanne,
right in front of the
have you been timing this?
So I'm the NCO for Central Way. So if you ever see these cars,
I appreciate that. I'll definitely talk to you after this, finish your members, so we can talk further. Also appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Edwin Romero?
Ouch. Ouch.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Ow. Ow.
So I'm not here to express my anger. I believe the radio courthouse upstairs on the 6th floor. I like it. This is my home. And all my neighbors are good people. Unfortunately, on May 9th, and my wife is a sick person, and the next day is Mother's Day, I couldn't even take her out because, excuse my French, some animal tore up my car right under my window.
Wow.
Right under my window, and I didn't hear nothing. So crime has escalated. They're really, really good. I couldn't even hear it. The window was open. So what saved my car? You ready for this? The old-fashioned way, a club.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw the club was walking. Saw the club. He wanted my car. Didn't break the window. Broke the handle. Went into the steering column to the ignition. Apparently, maybe I was with me, somebody passed by, and he stopped. Or he couldn't start the car. But one of the video cameras in the Brady courthouse, only one, showed that there was 2 cars, 2 white cars, a sedan, and an SUV, and then 2 people walking up this way towards my car. So obviously, with the club, we looked at it, pulled the ignition out, tore everything out inside, okay? Didn't break the glass. Maybe I would have hurt it. Couldn't start the car. But if he could start the car, since this is my prediction, if he started the car, there's 2 white cars, then the next step was, if you start the car, then it's gonna come, I'm sure you heard about it, they're cutting classic converters, so he's got a jigsaw ready to cut my steering wheel to get the club out. But somebody must have passed by and saw what happened. Okay, so naturally, I came down at 4:30 in the morning because I'm an early bird to wash clothes. That's when I found my car. Like that. Called 911. Fortunately, I'm sure the police department had other better things to do, but it took 3.5 hours for the police car to come by.
Mm-hmm. I say,
Right now,
get
my
a
car
big
is
dog.
shot right at the auto body. I'm here living here 20 years. This is a beautiful neighborhood. It could be even more beautiful if people respect each other's property. And I'm sure that the police department are doing a very good job. You can't be there every second, you know, but maybe in the future, if they could put like in Manhattan, they got cameras and stuff like that, maybe in the future, that would be helpful. I know it's going to cost money, you know, and the police department is very good. And I'm grateful that he came back 3.5 hours.
Look the other way. I can't hear.
So, my question is,
Yeah.
that 2018
This year is going.
mint condition would own it. As soon as I get my car back, I'm selling it. So if anybody wants to buy it, it's going to say
How much?
$27,000 because I want to sleep. I don't want a headache no more. It's become a headache to have a car here.
I'll give you 500. No, seriously.
Dale, you want to respond? Dale Miller?
Ouch. Ouch.
So I'd like to raise the drug issue again, because while the marijuana sales have been reported at three locations where there were vehicles on Lighting Avenue, between Kruger and White Plains Road, and then on White Plains Road up by the Children's Place store. Yes. There are also the bodega across the street from people from the south side of Lighting Avenue. Yeah,
I reported it.
yeah, I know, but I want to emphasize that there are drug sales, a lot of drug sales there, and a lot of very young people that hang out. There's a lawyer on the corner, and it's unsafe for some of the residents to cross from the supermarket to come back this way because of the lawyers on that corner. At the corner of Brady and Howard, there's a woman who sells little packets of some drug. People call her as they're coming up the sidewalk, and she comes out of the apartment building across the street from us, and she sells to them. I don't know what it is, but I've seen some of the people who sleep on the street who obviously have addiction issues buy from her. So that's an issue that I don't think anyone's reported yet, but I'd like to have it noted that that is going on at that location. The second thing is we hardly ever see patrol cars in this area or officers on the street. More recently, we've seen officers on White Plains Road, but around this area in the neighborhood, no cops. And again, people are sleeping.
They got you, Lefty.
Addicts and alcoholics.
You got my head.
No, I'm saying they got you. You're gonna have to patrol here
Oh, yeah, I'm
too.
gonna have to, yes.
Sleep there and hang out all day, beg for money so they can
Tell
get
them, listen, I'm
alcohol.
gonna start patrolling
So
around here.
it creates an environment that
Right.
is unsafe. So I would like for you to note that, and maybe if you can with some of the new officers, the non-new officers, someone can patrol this area.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
The other areas
It's not gonna
that
happen.
get a lot of care, these seem to be sketchy.
The what?
Okay, so we have 3 sectors. We put a car in each sector, and they respond to a lot of radio runs. And then secondly, there's we do have an NCO car for each sector too. So any of that information that you do have, especially when it comes to drug sales, definitely let us know, because we'll take as much information we can to investigate it, and then if it's outside our resources, we could get an investigative unit to handle that. And then as far as our deployment, it's we got the sectors, so we are in the area as long as much as plainclothes officers, not plainclothes, but unmarked vehicles are in the area as well.
I just want to regard something the gentleman back here mentioned, and to his point, since there's an uptick in complaints being on private property, I mean, the suggestion that the gentleman made about police, what's the liability in getting something like that on Lighting Avenue?
So there's actually, there's one on lighting,
Where is it?
There's a camera on lighting, and I believe Kruger, there's an Argus camera there. Is there another specific area that you're referring to that you have a camera?
I think, Wallace. I mean, there's pockets of things happening all along Lighting, all the way, White Plains Road and Browns Park East. I don't know how many cameras are along that avenue, but if there's, liability there for getting more cameras there, I'd like to know what that is, what that looks like for getting it done.
I'm not really here with that.
Okay,
But,
well, you get back to me.
I will look into it as crime prevention, and I will hopefully come back next time with an answer.
Awesome.
How likely that is.
Yeah, but that's
the process.
that also has to do with the budget. So, we start poking our elected officials.
Councilmember Marlboro has given money for Argus cameras, but she doesn't get to decide where they go. Precinct decides of one week.
Wow.
And then in regards to these, big issues too, there is an auto crime investigation, it's going, it's a citywide investigation, borough-wide. So there is an ongoing investigation, hopefully that when it does take its out, we do get some relief. But right now, I mean, these guys are in and out, and within the last month, our patrol officers, we had one patrol officer that was able to get there within seconds, must have been around the block, when the call came in, he was able to effect the rest of them when the auto break. So they're out there, they're definitely out there.
8:05.
Going on. I mean, the best advice I could do is, the cameras have helped assist investigations. And even, get help from, someone that's watching, 'cause, it's more eyes out there, more people to record information, people will assist. Anybody else out there? Like neighbors providing cameras, because sometimes we need they are hitting the neighborhoods that are unlit and very dark. And we'll have cameras for two houses, but then, what would be helpful is, we have more cameras, down the street. So, we are getting a lot of help, but, unfortunately, can't come fast enough.
Also, maybe Nina can talk on this later, the DA has a program where you can register your Ring camera to help out with any crimes in the area.
The next time I can bring flyers for that, what's the Fuses program?
So you just want to tell them real quick what the Fuses program is?
So the Fuses program is a program that the city offers, where you can kind of like dock your camera with the city. That way we don't have to go and ask for footage. We're able to kind of access it remotely. If you guys are interested, I can email you flyers. Just see me afterwards. But there's a link, and then they kind of has a step-by-step on how to do it, and it'll be in the DA and NYPD system.
Do you have anti-theft tips, for small businesses?
Yeah, I think I have a flyer. I can email it to you for anti-burglary tips. I know weapons have gotten hit hard,
I've actually heard the club thing. A lot of people say they're going back to the club for whatever reason. The club seems to be working.
Yeah, so the flyers that I left here actually have the club on them as well.
What's that?
The flyers that I left here also mention having the club.
Okay, let's just, Randy?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. The 4-9 precinct hasn't been my precinct for 25 years. Irregardless, with the emphasis on the Bronx has been my home for 6 decades. I want to address Mace Avenue between Whitlock, and Delanoy. It's like a dead-end street. There's a fence line to commercial property, and then by the Home Depot, the Dunkin' Donuts, and then the other side is all new construction, like pretty much 20 years old. Anyway, Mason Avenue, there's always abandoned cars, garbage, which has nothing to do with you. That's a DSNY issue. The past 2 years, one car in particular, I made over 20 301 complaints. Has a busted rear windshield. It's been there for 2 years. Snow, rain, everything. Every time it's right in the entrance to go into the Dunkin' Donuts backyard, and then the fence line where it's cut. But It's been back in parked for 2 years, busted window with a Chicago plate that's crooked, 2 different screws, no sticker. Obviously it's stolen. I mean, how much would it take to check that car out? There's box trucks, with Maryland plates in the back, different states, and then you can see the New York registration inspection sticker scraped off the front and they're backed in. And it gives me flashbacks of 1980, 180th Street and Grand Avenue, abandoned cars for years on the block, just sitting there. You guys have pensions, you retire, you get out of the Bronx. Most of us are stuck here. And the cycle just keeps continuing. It's like you guys don't care. I get the 301 call back, we can't find it. That's a DSNY issue. Where is it? We went there, the car is gone. It's been there for 2 years. How hard would it be to check it out? Chicago plate in the back, like I said, and obviously it's been abandoned. If somebody owned the car, they would have at least put a plastic cover to the back glass. Like I said, 2 years, snow, rain, the whole night. Thank you.
Fix it up.
What do you say?
No, nothing,
Okay.
don't. No,
Thank you.
don't pay any attention to that man behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain, okay.
Can you just tell me the address, so I can refer to this?
Mace and Delanoy. There's no number. It's just Mace because it's a dead-end kind of street. It's a fence line. And it's right behind the Dunkin' Donuts next to the Gun Hill Home Depot. It's right there. Angled parking. It's a Chrysler 200 backed in. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna start with the elected officials, and we'll start with.
Just one question, please. Thank you so much. One, thank you for your patience and for your time. You know, normally I'm in bed at this time because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I made my business to be here and be with everybody in the community. Okay, so my concern, it's not so much the park. My concern is for the community. My concern is my wife, everybody's wife, children. So my question I'd like to ask you, is it mandatory for a building to have cameras?
No.
Just put it this way, as far as even cameras too, if someone does not want to provide the cameras, we have to go to a legal way to get them too. So sometimes we do find ourselves not able to get video because, they are protectors. So we do have issues and we do have those issues and, it does take a subpoena. Anytime when somebody's not willing to come in and not cooperative, it does set the investigation back. That's why anyone with brain cameras or anyone that's just willing to be part of the youth program is a huge assistance. And what we do too, is with the reports too, even though we're not catching people right away, or we don't catch them at the rate that we would want to on the control level, the data that is provided has us deployed in those critical hours, which is pretty much when we take a look, is from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. We did try to put as many patrol cars in there to do direct patrols. And there's been a couple nights too where they were able to do a car stop because they do clear the location and we need a little bit just to clean off to chase. So we are chasing people out of the area and it's ongoing issue. But they are there.
So, in other words, the building is just as courtesy voluntary to put cameras.
Yes. Unfortunately, I know.
Right under the camera, my windows on the 6th floor. The guy's good, I'm telling you. The guy's good. None of these cameras at this time is working. What's the son having cameras in the room? Thank you.
So we need a force on Bronxdale, because there's another incident on Bronxdale again. As you've seen on TV, 2 kids were hit on the bike lane. So please look careful at Bronxdale in front of Adventist Academy. Thank you so much. Have a photo.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Okay, we're gonna start with our elected official representative, Nina? Yes. From the Bronx DA's office.
Quiet on the set, please. One person talking. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I know there's a lot to unpack because there's definitely two things that I would like to speak on that I've heard during the gathering session. So I'll definitely try to get through everything as fast as I can. Again, my name is Nina Noel, I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I definitely want to make mention also about the really nice precinct breakfast. That was really nice. The DA was able to come and be with the Bronxborough president. So again, very much a very, very nice event. We had a great time attending. So I also want to mention Mr. Gray did receive that and it came directly to me. So I was going to follow up because it was trying to get an answer for you as to how that was all responsible with the smoke shop eviction. So definitely follow up with me again this week, okay? All right, so the camper program. So that program came on when I first started. That was one of the announcements I was making at the boards and the precinct council meetings when I first came on. It was a camper program that was an initiative that was coming from the Bronx District Attorney's Office, but again, like I said, it's voluntary. It wasn't mandatory. All you were doing was just giving the officer that said, in the event that something happens, so it's like they were constantly monitoring your cameras. 24/7 operation. It wasn't like that. It was just if something happened in your camera happened to be in the vicinity, they would be able to bypass all the red tape that it usually takes to get access to the video footage, and then they would be able to have access. But if anyone is still interested, as I said, that started more when I first came on, so I can reach out again and find out if the program is still active, if anyone indeed wants to find out if they want to register your cameras. So I do have an event that's coming up through our office. Apologies, I don't have any physical flyers on me in person. I actually got it when I was on my way here to the meeting, but I definitely want to make mention. So the Bronx DA's office is hosting its first beautification event that's planned for peace in recognition of National Gun Violence Awareness Day. The event will take place at St. Mary's Park. That's on June 6th, and that's going to be from 12 noon to 3 p.m. This initiative is grounded in research showing that beautification and greening efforts can play a meaningful role in reducing crime and enhancing community well-being. So I'm definitely going to share the flyer first thing in the morning when I get into the office. If anyone would like to have the flyer forward while I'm still here for the meeting, of course, I'll be here to be and I'll be more than happy. So if there's any questions,
I have a question.
Yes.
This nice lady just showed me a picture. Okay, putting a camera in your door apartment. Is it? Do you need consent? Do you need permission?
No, if it's a typical Ring camera that you can order like on Amazon or something like that, you don't have to have
I'm a shareholder in this company, and the board does not permit.
Well, those are usually tend to be the larger cameras that you actually have to like get into the wiring. Regular Ring cams, no.
Let him finish. Shh, Brian.
Excuse me, that's an internal issue, that you have to take up with your board here.
But you can probably two-way tape it, I don't know what I'm saying, does say, you can probably two-way tape it, you can't hardline it, but you can probably two-way tape it, because Co-op City is having that same issue, and they did use two-way tape to their work.
I'm sorry, that's another question. Yes.
Do you know where it's Co-op City? St. Mary's Park.
I'm sorry, say it again.
The intersection of St. Mary's Park, please.
Yeah, St. Mary's Park, I'm gonna get you.
149 and St. Anne's Avenue.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I drive to the school across the street.
Yeah, so that's gonna be right at that, directly across from 611 East 149th Street. So that's
611 East 149th, thank you.
And that's gonna be from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Okay, so like I said, if anyone's interested, would like to fly now, and I'll definitely make sure that I share it with the precinct council. Thank you. So, one more question.
I want to respond to the question about ring cameras on apartment doors. This co-op does not allow ring cameras hardwired or glued to a door on advice of our council. Each co-op has the ability.
This is an internal.
Yeah,
Can you just
but
talk
I'm
to
just
them about it?
making it clear
Okay,
that
thank you,
each
appreciate
co-op
it.
has the ability to make their own rules.
Thank you.
Wait, Liliana from Councilwoman Marmorato's office?
Good evening, everyone. I am Liliana Peckett. I'm with Councilwoman Christy Marmorato's office. I'm the Director of Community Affairs. And basically tonight, first of all, I want to congratulate our wonderful Detective Paul for being Cop of the Year. something within the community, please feel free to reach out to our office. We have some great constituent liaisons that work hand in hand with all the departments to address any issues that might arise. I want to talk about good things. We have wonderful things coming up. First of all, the councilwoman is doing a spring cleaning. And basically what we're trying to do is gather Halloween costumes. So we're doing a spring cleaning drive. It's a nice thing to do, and it gives you an opportunity to clean out your closets during the springtime. We are celebrating Father's Day on June 14th at the batting cages. You must RSVP. I've left flyers about the spring cleaning, the batting cages, and also we have a shredding event coming up in July. We did one in this side of the Bronx, and now we're this side of our district, and now we're going to the other side of the district on East Fremont, and that's going to be on July 23rd. The reason why I tell you in advance is because a lot of people say, I didn't know about it, I needed to get my stuff shredded. You have an opportunity to gather your stuff and to be able to go and do the shredding on East Fremont. And you have the address and the locations and the time and everything there. I also want to talk about, we have, for our veterans, we have on the third Friday of the month, we have every third Friday of the month, we have veteran services in our office. We also have immigration services in our office every Monday. You can call our office, make an appointment, and we have immigration from CUNY citizenship that comes in. And anyone that needs to renew their green cards or get citizenship applications or some other immigration purposes, please feel free to call our office to make an appointment. It's a free service that we provide for the community. The councilwoman is working hard to bring the agencies to our office. We're going to have oath coming in pretty soon in our office. DSNY, we have all of these agencies are going to come into our office where they can be available to you at your fingertips, and rather than you having to reach out to the agencies. So again, if you have any questions, any concerns, if you want something happening in your community, please feel free to call our office and reach out to any one of us at the office. Thank you so much.
Thank you. From Councilmember Police's office.
Hi everyone, my name is Guillermo from Councilmember Oswald Police's office. I'm the Councilmember's Deputy Chief of Staff and Legislative Director. This Sunday, June 1st, we're going to be having a concert at East Kingsbridge Road and Grand Concourse. I have about 2 flyers on the table over there. One is my spring concert, one is our office information. It's from 12 to 5, open to everyone, it's free, it'll be a good time. It was a great event last year. Other than that, our office information is on the other flyer. Feel free to reach out to us if you need help with anything. Much like Councilmember Amarado, our office also has immigration services, and we also have a housing attorney that's working with our constituents if anyone's had experiencing housing issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Yvonne? Still here? Representative Bailey's office.
Hello, I'm from Senator Bailey's office. I'm Mitchell. So this Saturday, we're supposed to have our Taste of the District event. We were planning that for a long time. Unfortunately, because of weather, we're going to have to push it to the fall. So if you're excited about that, sorry. But next month, we have a College Day event. I actually don't know the date yet, so I'll probably let you guys know on a different date. But at the end of the month, we have our annual job fair. That's going to be at Big Plaza. It's a really big job fair. At least like 20 to 30 comes out. So if you know someone who's looking for a job or anything like that, it's a really good event to go to. And I went last year because obviously I was working it, but I mean there's so many companies and it was a really cool event. So I never suggest anyone who was looking for a job to go to that. And that's the end of the month. I want to say it's like the 27th, but I'm gonna have to check. Oh, June. Sorry. Yeah, but that's next month. Then that's all we have.
Thank you. And Kevin from Reception Members of Borough.
Thank you,
you, everybody. I know we want to get out of here. We did the 8:30 deadline, so I'll make this quick. One, if you're interested, the New York Knicks are down 27-29. I know, but it's only the first quarter. We still got time. So just make this quick. June 21st, it's a Saturday, we'll be 12 before. It's our annual summer kickoff event. It's going to be right outside our office on Williamsbridge Road. It's our third time doing it, so we shut down the whole street. Everybody knows it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a stage this year, special guests probably, and lots of bouncy houses and things like that. Also, at the end of the year, we are also holding a kitchen compost bin giveaway. So you have to sign up for that. I'll have flyers going out shortly. Unfortunately, our printer didn't want to cooperate with us today, so I don't have those right now. That's it. Thank you very much.
May 31,
Yeah, so the tickets already went out for that, but yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Nominations.
Okay.
Nominations.
We are going to take nominations again this month for the election next month.
We have to list some names.
They have. Oh.
Quiet.
As the appointed chair of the nominating committee, the nominating committee, along with Detective Paul, the police officer of the year, congratulations, went through the book, and we found that 19 people were eligible to vote and run for office. Now, the election process should not have started last month taking nominations. According to the bylaws, a member of the council in good standing must have attended 4 or more meetings in the past 12 months. In a period to be able to cast a vote, only members in good standing will be able to nominate members for executive board positions, run for office, or vote for council elections. If a vote is required, 20% of the council is considered a quorum. I hope I don't have to go into what a quorum is. A quorum means the minimum amount of people needed, that's 20%. We have more than 20% here. We have about 60% of the precinct council members in good standing here, so this can be taken. Votes will be to be made by those council members present. No absent ballots, no absent votes or proxy votes will be allowed. This is from the precinct council bylaws. Okay. At the March meeting, the president and commanding officer will review the attendance and choose 3 members in good standing to compromise an election committee. I was not done. It was done at the May meeting. Okay, or at the April meeting. At the April meeting, the membership of the committee and the officer, detective, are supposed to go through and give the 19 names. Okay, we've done that. And at the beginning of the April meeting, the election committee shall present them, and challenges to the eligibility list should be addressed at that time. Ms. Finch, Ms. Ferrara, and I are on the election committee. We went through it, we challenged certain names, they were knocked off. We added one name that wasn't there. So those are the 19 names. Anybody have any questions about the 19 names? You want them read off?
Yeah.
You want them read off, Marcy? Okay.
Brian Adams.
Good, do the.
Roxanne Delgado, Bernadette Ferrara, Diana Finch, Stephen Glasser, Marcy Gross, Michael Cass, Debbie Kowalik, Francis Liu, John Lopez, Mark Markowski, Grace Marrero, Elio Morales, Hazel Mura, Phyllis Lasasio, Ignacio Negron, Lefty, Naomi Pemberton, Robin Press, and Amy Roberts.
Okay, and then during the May meeting, nominations will be taken to the floor for all positions on the executive board. Candidates may run for only one position on the executive board. The election shall be held at the June meeting. Now, there are nominations, and I will go through nominations. Now, it also says that members of the election committee should be allowed, no member of the election committee should be allowed to seek office for the upcoming election. However, when going to Robert's Rules of Orders on page 289-90, it says members of the nominating committee are not barred from becoming nominees for office themselves. To make such a requirement would mean that, first, service on the nominating committee carries a penalty by depriving its members of one of their privileges, and second, that the appointment or election to the nominating committee could be used to prevent a member from becoming a nominee. So any one of, since we have a few members, we only have 19, and there are people who have already been nominated, the members of the election committee could be nominated for any position.
That is not, no.
That's what Robert's Rules of Order says.
Right.
And this board,
If this is gonna happen, it has to go through one paper. This is not something that you can decide. or
this
we
is
can
Robert's
decide.
Rules of Order. At the call, would you please tell them?
The bylaws say that if the rules are not in the bylaws, then we would refer to Robert's rules.
Right.
So the bylaws are saying that you can't run, or somebody.
No, it says you should.
Run, right? So
It
we're
says
gonna follow
no
that,
member
we should not
should.
address that it would be in the Robert's rules.
It's not definite. It says no
We'll talk
member.
afterwards about the specific event.
You're deprived, then I'll step off the board committee. That's all.
No.
I won't. Because we've also found that one member of the council has not signed the election book. And on page 9 of the bylaws, it states that you must sign the book at the beginning of the meeting, not after the meeting. All right, all attendees must sign the attendance log at the beginning of each in-person meeting. The commanding officer designee will maintain the attendance log in town election.
One second. Diana and Bernadette, what did we agree on with that?
What?
Signature with Hazel.
We did agree, Hazel had closed out, I think, 4 out of 5. So we did agree at that meeting.
If she's supposed to carry the book, she's signing it by closing it.
No, that's not signing the book.
So in the future,
Mm-mm.
doing it.
But I am signing.
You're signing.
No, but that's not the, that's not true. See how they make rules for them, but not for everybody else? No.
As far as us signing last, there's always a line. You let the people sign first. We're the last ones here, so we sign it at the end. We've always done that.
I'm going to put it to the council as far as who should be allowed, if the election committee should be allowed to run for office. As in the Robert's Rules of Order, which goes here. Detective Hall, can I have a ruling on that?
We just agreed on what we agreed on, right?
You agree on, this is Robert's Rules of Order, which goes after
I
this
told you not
council
to let him
bylaws. It's in the council bylaws. Why can't I run? Tell me.
Because the bylaw says so.
No, it says should, not can't.
The bylaw says that if you're on the nominating committee, you can't run.
It doesn't say can't, it says should.
No, I wasn't. I'm eligible to vote, and if you're eligible to vote, you're eligible to run for office.
Well, I think it's fine ruling on this. I think there is, my opinion is that if this is something that is in the bylaws, that it does go to Robert Rules, because also that you didn't report to. Okay, so it's not like, it's something that you can discuss and maybe brought up for amendment, et cetera.
Ouch.
It is a question. It is a question. And also with signing up the books, you guys.
I nominate you for treasurer.
You should probably do the whole thing, because that's what the law, the bylaw says. It was brought up and it was discussed. So
What?
now on the meeting, it was whatever way.
Yes, treasurer and recording secretary. Huh? No. Marcy's gonna run for corresponding. Yes. But you were gonna be, he said to for,
Conducting this meeting. Thank you.
So this is,
We did
Close the
find
door.
that there were people who probably did come to 4 or 5 meetings, but they did not sign every time they came. And so therefore, they're not eligible. And we have to withdraw one person from nomination because she only signed in 3 times. She may have come more than 3 times, but she didn't only sign in 3 times.
yes, but 2 years ago, Tiz never signed the book, and she was allowed to run.
yeah, but we weren't on the nomination.
No, but I'm just saying, but she was allowed to run. And going forward, Hazel knew that she needed to sign the book. Signing the book at the end of the meeting is not signing the book. You have to have your name, your address, and everything. Yes, but you still, yes, but you still, you have to. That's part of the process.
They left the
And I believe the commanding officer is supposed to be signing the book out, not you.
Was it done that same night? How do we know? Is that the bottom of the
I'm talking
line?
about today's meeting.
That's it. You know,
The shake hands before the meeting.
Excuse me, this is good that we're discussing this, because you know what? A lot of times we all rush to things with more important issues, but we have to follow today. So going forward, please.
Okay, so where do we stand right now?
Right now, what we stand is that if the discussion with Dr. Roberts, rules and sessions, what I'll do now, that's really at this point.
Something that has to be discussed.
All right,
I'm not going to take responsibility. I will call downtown and
Ouch.
see what they advise.
This it was brought up. Okay, but going forward with the nomination, we should move forward with the.
Well, I'm stepping off the nominating committee because I want to be nominated.
Oh, come on, really, come on.
And Robert, this is what it says.
Yes, he was. That's it.
What?
We're ruled by what we need.
That's not what the mayor told me. The mayor told me something else.
Those bylaws said that
If I could vote, I'm eligible to run for office if I could vote.
those rules also say that you can't run for
I
office.
was removed. I stepped down. What did Captain Theophon say? I stepped down.
That's right, that's what it,
In all reality, you were removed.
wow.
I received no notice from one PT.
So the community was lied to.
Nothing in writing from one PT.
Okay. I will call downtown and I will also.
No, because they want to make rules for them and not for
Because
everybody
there's
else.
possible investigation about certain things.
Okay, so then we cannot go on with the nominations right now.
All right, we'll do that at the June meeting. I'll talk to the commissioner too.
We might have to push this to September if we're gonna follow the rules of the guide. So we may not be able to have nominations in June until we get this all settled, so we may have to push it to September. So I will call downtown, I will bring up these issues and see what they tell me, and then I'll bring it back next month.
Why can't you have nominations in June when you have the election?
What?
Because there's too many things going on right now, you're bringing
You
them
won't have an
all
answer
out.
by June, you won't have an answer in 1 month.
We may not be able to.
I'll make sure I'll get you an answer when the
I
commission.
don't need you to get me an answer, Robert. I can do that myself.
By the way,
You're not the president of the council.
where is the June meeting going to be held since June 24th, primary day?
Probably gonna be, we don't know yet. Thank you.
I have a question though. Why is the attendance is only for 12 months and not 24 months?
Because that's what it says in the guide.
Yeah, but you haven't had election since 2 years ago.
Elections are every 2 years.
Yeah, but then it makes no sense to discount the prior year people attending this meeting.
So this is the date of the.
My understanding election should be every year.
I mean,
That's what happens.
you know, that is so rude. She's talking and everybody just walks, stands up. See?
Take the video.
Huh? No, I am. Rules for me, not for thee. Oh, there you have it. Again, they do rules for them, and for everybody else, they have to do something else. You're so pretty. Anyway, so yeah, this is how corrupt this precinct council is. You know, I was on the precinct council for a couple of years, and because I was questioning, saying that there's supposed to be financial reports given every meeting, at every meeting. They have never ever done a financial report. Add to that, last elections, they decided they weren't going to allow the treasurer's position to be voted on. They want, and it's not supposed to be that way. All positions are supposed to be available, not just who they want to pick and choose. This is it's a joke, and again, like the community board, this is why a lot of people don't come to these meetings anymore, because they're tired of nonsense. We just heard for yourselves. We were lied to. Bob stepped down. That's what Captain Tantong said, that Bob stepped down from the executive board. Now they're saying, well, no, he just said that because, but you were really removed. So which is it? So they're lying to the community. That's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be transparent to the community. This is not right. So we'll see what answer they come with. Let's see how they're gonna. I'm gonna have to put in a complaint to 1PP, because this is just too much now. It's ridiculous. These people are on a power trip, and it needs to stop. That's it. Everybody have a good night. See you at the next one.